Tauri Talk, the podcast from the Scuderia Alpha Tauri Formula One team.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tauri Talk, the official podcast of the Scuderia Alpha Tauri F1 team, taking you behind the scenes of what life is like in Formula One. I'm Josh the admin, and today I'm super excited to welcome back Pierre Gasly. Pierre, how have you been?
Very good, thank you.
And I better introduce him soon or he'll try and ruin my intro again. It's Yuki Tsunoda.
Hello.
Say it with a bit more emphasis. Come on, Yuki.
Hello guys again. Well, after 2 weeks, but
you're
good to be back.
Jet lag though.
Good to be back.
You are a bit of a regular on our show now. I'm getting good use out of you.
Yeah, I guess you guys already missed my voice, so I try to.
I think you're more like a podcaster before F1 driver these days. Right?
Well, I was preparing my throat a lot from yesterday to let you guys hear my beautiful voice, so you guys can
soothing.
You guys can sleep well.
No, but just keep it safe until Japan because I want to hear you in the karaoke. So don't use it too hard. Don't use it too hard today.
It's been a couple of weeks since we've been together because of the 2-week break that we've had. So what fun things have we been up to?
I'll let you start, Yuki.
No, let's do how you.
Give me a few seconds.
Well, we all saw on social media you took your family to France for a track day.
Yeah, this was probably one of the best experience I had with my family. So I kind of organized it at the start of the year, and I was like, my brother have always been a massive supporter in my life since the day I started in go-kart, because they all raced go-kart in the past. And when I was born, when I was 2 years old, I was always going to the tracks to support them. So I know they understand the sport, they understand the driving, they understand the physical part of it. And yeah, they always supported me since day one. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to organize that day, give them back something and make them discover what it's like to drive a single-seater. So yeah, we organized it. Honestly, it was so fun because they never drove in any single-seater or like Formula cars. So I could see like the stress in their eyes. And we get so competitive between us. So my older brother is 43 now. And then I'm 26, so we have quite a big.
It's a different kind of sibling rivalry.
Exactly. But since it started with Mario Kart, I was really into Mario Kart when I was a kid, and then after we changed activities, but always a massive competitive mindset. And when I put them on the track, I could see just between them, they were like, after the first session, okay, give me the lap times. Okay, tell me how to improve. Where should I go faster? And they were pushing. There were a couple of spins. I could see smoke everywhere. Every braking, they were looking up the tires, and it was quite messy, but so much fun. And they loved it. We just it doesn't happen a lot of time, like maybe 2-3 times a year.
I can tell that from the brothers. They're looking up a lot, like you do.
They're pushing. They always push beyond the limit. Once they go over the limit, then after they back off a bit. But no, it was great, and we managed to get together maybe like 2-3 times a year, and it was just nice family activity. And yeah, I mean, they loved it so much. My brother is actually going next week on Wednesday do another track day with the same car with one other of my brothers. So no, really happy to have given them this experience, and yeah, just to spend some cool time with the family.
And Yuki, now that you've had some time to think about it, we did speak to you 2 weeks ago, but I guess one thing that I forgot to ask for our listeners, because a lot of people have been asking, have you been cooking lately, and what have you been cooking?
So I cooked fried rice, I think.
I love that.
And my trainer came to my house last week to prepare a bit of training. Pretty much every day I went to sauna. I like sauna to reset myself and even relaxing.
Are you doing like the Finnish style or?
What do you mean?
Well, Finnish sauna is you go there with the snake out. So
no, just chill out, and yeah, I cook cooked pretty much every day, and yeah, I did fried rice. Went well actually. I'm happy about it. Key is I used the oil for sesame oil. I think that was good. And other than that, most of the time it's traditional Japanese food, and he made the kind of food from the England or whatever. We both did well. So like kind of those usual day. I would say I didn't do anything like special. So yeah.
I think you're the new like Romain Grosjean chef of the Paddock. You know, Romain was an amazing cooker.
Oh really?
He
amazing
released a
chef.
book.
Yeah, he released the book.
Really?
Romain is an amazing chef. I've never had the chance to try his food, but I see like from all like the content I know he's an amazing cook. So
I didn't know that.
so yeah, you're the new.
He
the new
didn't
one.
tell me actually when I was living in Switzerland. We did probably once or a couple of times we cycled together.
Okay.
Yeah, because and he never told me about that, so I'm a bit sad
Very
about
modest.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm surprised to hear that.
What will be your if you gotta impress someone? What will you cook?
Chicken karage.
Chicken karage. What is
It's
that?
like a fried chicken, traditional like food from Japan. And yeah, it's very nice. I think that's my kind of the one of the best thing I can cook. Other than that, just pretty normal.
How did you learn? Like just watching MasterChef or
Just talent. Just like.
You're so talented, Yuki.
Well, after I
It's like, I don't know where it stops, but you keep impressing me every weekend.
well, I just taste it and I know the ingredients, what they make it. I'm
It's like you
joking. No, I'm
taste
joking.
something.
No, of course, first we just search internet, and how to make kind of, for example,
I've
chicken
tried
karage.
that, but believe me, it didn't work out. Like
It's
You
pretty
will try.
easy though. Well,
Well, that's what I thought about cooking until I try and pretty much burn the entire ingredients that I put in my pan, and then
then probably your DNA is all talents go to driving.
Only
Then,
driving. Oh my
other than
God.
that,
what a boring person. Can't do anything else than driving.
Okay, guys, I wanted to try something here, like a new segment, where we can each bring a situation to the group and find some solutions together. I'd like to bring something to the table first that happened last week, actually, when I was driving with you, Yuki. We were driving in Faenza in Italy, and there was a car in front of us, and they were washing their windscreen wipers whilst they were in front. And Yuki has quite a nice car. I think he might have even like washed it 2 days before or something. And so they've washed their windscreen wipers while we're driving behind them, and it's obviously gotten on his car. The window was down. I was feeling it on my hand. And so that's like brought up my topic of today is like, what unwritten road rule would you like to enforce if you had power, and what would the punishment for that be? So I guess mine would be like, that would be a no-go. You pull over or you do it at a red light if you want to wash your your windshield.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And if you're caught doing it, I guess the punishment would be, you get pulled over and you're forced to wash the other person's car on the side of the road as punishment. Like, so if you had any unwritten road rules, I'll give you some time to think about it actually, because we have had some
I think
callers
what's better with the sprays. It's actually rather than spraying on your windscreen, should put them like outboard so you can basically spray the people. You will spray the
jet
people
going
on
forward.
Exactly. Whoever will not respect or will misbehave with you, just attack them with the sprays.
that's a good idea.
Well, the good thing is Yuki did his own punishment, because when there was another lane to get past, he passed the other car and then returned the favor.
Yeah. And also, I saw the back mirror after that. She was also
Just
wiping
doing it again.
wiping again.
the
Yeah.
screen.
All right, so Pierre, I'll give you a chance to think about that, because we had some people submit their own,
Okay.
and this could be a good chance for us to right the wrongs in the world. And they've given their own solutions, but I think we can also add our own. So let's have a listen to our first one. This one's from Anna.
Hello, AlphaTorios. My name's Anna Arnoldson. I'm from Madison, Wisconsin. And a road rule that doesn't exist that I wish existed is that when you have to merge into a lane because one of the lanes is closed, The people who ride the lane all the way to the end and merge in at the end right before it's closed are not allowed to be let in ever. Because I think that's cheating. They like skip by a bunch of people and then wait at the end, and then people out of the kindness of their hearts let them in, and so they think it's okay and they keep doing it. So I think that's illegal, and that like
That's such a Yuki
lasers
Tsunoda
from the
behavior.
sky
You
should
beat me to
probably
it.
come down and, you know, kindly take them out. And yeah, that would be the punishment. Lasers. Thanks.
So did you hear that? Lasers just to take them out. I was wondering how you would like deal with the backlog of cars who are trying to cut in at the end, but then like obviously the solution that Anna's got is lasers.
Lasers.
Lasers takes them out.
Yeah, but I think Yuki, you can relate, right? That's such your kind of behavior to skip like a 1 hour queue, driving past everybody, and then
Yeah, well, I never done that, of course. But that punishment is definitely good. I think sounds good. Yeah.
I'm just thinking. I mean,
I have something idea for the someone who does to this road or something like that. But I cannot find the solution to
I
a
think
punishment.
you should do
which is
a long cut instead of getting in
A
the
joker
lane.
lap.
Exactly. You should have like an extra loop to do that.
Yeah.
You basically waste even more time than what you try to gain.
It's difficult to build that on the roads.
Yeah.
But okay, I've got one.
I think you should
a
just shunt
power
into
limiter. A power limiter on the car that
yeah.
like you just send, so like they can't do that again for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that will work. I mean, not if you are in traffic, but then as soon as the traffic clears, you're stuck at 30 kph for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Imagine, and you have like
Yeah.
800 kilometers to go in.
That'll teach you.
Yeah. I think one thing that really pissed me off is when I go, when you're trying to park your car in a city or supermarket or wherever, and then it's super crowded. And then you see that one guy that literally parked on 2 spots. So you get there and you think, okay, I got the space, and the guy has got like more than half the car on one spot, and then like a quarter on the other one, and there is nothing you can fit in there except like a motorbike. And then you basically end up going around for 2 hours until you see someone getting out of the supermarket, and you're like, oh, sorry, where are you parked? And I chase you, and then can you give me
the awkward guy are you going or?
And every time I'm like, that guy is so lucky if on 2 spots, and then I'm just going around like an idiot, and because of him, like I could have just parked.
So what's the punishment? The obvious one is towing, but we can do better than
big
that.
spank, honestly.
Delivered by
Honestly,
who though? Like, is there a regulator who just comes and says, "Well, this is my job now"?
You'll just have like a security, like a spank guy in the parking lot. And then anytime you find an issue, you just call him. Like you go on the horn, guy shows up, waits for the guy, big spank. No, I don't know, like, but it's just something which honestly, I don't find really fair. But there are bigger problems in life. But another thing, I don't like people driving slow on the fast lane. This should be like forbidden, right?
Yeah.
Like especially if you got 3 lanes, and like the 2 on the rights are free. Some guys love going 40 kph below the speed limit and just getting on the fast lane. I don't get it. It's like sometimes you get so much space on the road. Like why would you stay there?
Yeah, this is where my solution of a power limiter wouldn't come in handy, because it would just make it worse.
Sometimes I think I'm gonna bump into him, that I'm gonna give him a bit of speed, because I don't know if he's.
So we need bumper cars then.
I think also I hate the people who put the bin outside from, like when you're driving, as you see sometimes the people throwing the smoke like cigarette out in the road or like bin. Something I want to have to punish, or
garbage out.
Just probably call the police, ask, and tell the registration number and what the address. And a week, the people who live around there, you can put the bin at his house. and he will correct it and have to go to the specific place to burn those old bins. But I think
I think the
Yeah,
punishment
that's a fair
fits.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see people throwing all sort of shit out of the window. Actually, funny story that happened to me. So last week we had the filming day. So I was in Faenza, and I was staying in Villa Abbondensi, which is we went to this Japanese. Is it I think it's the buffet I told you about. I think it's Japanese, right? The restaurant, which is literally 400 meters from the hotel.
yeah, okay.
So we're getting out of the hotel, drive for like 200 meters, and get pulled over by the police. And I'm like, okay, we're in Faenza, it's cool, right? Like, surely it's surely the police. And we had the Honda Civic Type R with like the rear wing and everything. So I was like, okay, they surely like gonna let us go, because we didn't do anything wrong. So I didn't even know why they pulled us over, and Pierre was driving. And then the guy sees us, like, okay, ask in Italian. It was like, puoi darmi la patente, like asking for the driving license. And Pierre is looking at the cop like, what do you want? Like, I'm like, Pierre, just chill out. Just give him your driving license, and then it's fine. Like, let us go. And then after, he started asking my driving license, that I'm the passenger. Yeah, I don't know. And then he goes out, and we don't see him for like 10 minutes. And he just left us for 10 minutes, came back, didn't say a word. I mean, I wasn't going to say like I'm AlphaTauri driver or whatever, but it was like super late at night. And we arrived like super late. I mean, late at the restaurant. We were already short on time, and we arrived literally the last one in the restaurant. I was like, we're sorry, we got pulled over by the police. So sorry. And the guy didn't even recognize us. And I heard apparently in Faenza, if you say you're working for AlphaTauri, police will just let you go.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this cheat code, so I didn't say anything, and we just been there like for 10-15 minutes waiting for the guy to come back and say, okay, you're good, you can go. I'm like, yeah, I know I'm good, I know we're good.
It didn't do anything.
Nah, that was funny.
Okay, guys, it's time for
Scuderia AlphaTauri are proud to present Pierre and Yuki's really excellent, fun, quiz time, spectacular event.
Spectacular.
Who's talking this one?
Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. We are heading into round 2 of Pierre versus Yuki. And to keep it nice and simple today, we're going to revisit our social media challenge from last time of who has more followers. This time it's all about celebrities on Instagram rather than sports personalities. Okay, so you guys ready?
So, just remind me how that
Who has
works.
more followers? I'll ask
And
you
we'll
who
just
has more,
say-
and you guys have a guess. Let's make it a quick round, okay?
Yeah.
So like you've got 5 seconds to answer.
Okay.
Okay. The first one's going to be a bit difficult. I'm not going to give you any hint. Who has the most followers on Instagram? Full stop. Go.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Huh?
Who has the most followers on Instagram?
Okay. I know this one. Instagram.
He's got it. Instagram has the most. Cristiano.
I saw this one a week ago, something like that.
Yeah, but that
Well
was
done.
over the time limit.
Well
done.
That was over the time limit. So this is the draw.
Yeah.
Okay, that was just a bonus one. That was like, okay, now we're getting into the people. Okay, so next one is Kim Kardashian or The Rock.
I like
Kim
Rock. So
Kardashian.
Rock.
So Yuki's gone The Rock. You've gone Pierre. Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Okay, so the correct answer is
Go Rock. Rock.
The Rock.
Whoa!
He's on a roll.
Yes, two times in a
Oh
row.
my God, I should
Yeah.
know that. I actually follow The Rock, but
Yeah, but probably not Kim. What a shame. All right. Next up, we have Beyonce or Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber.
Sorry.
Really?
Yeah, Beyonce.
For real?
276 million versus Justin's 259.
unbelievable. I would have thought Justin is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more
They're
like
close ones.
our generation. Or
Yeah. Okay, moving on. National Geographic or NASA?
NASA.
I'll go with the other one.
Just to make it easier.
Exactly.
Okay. National Geographic has
Let's
a
go.
lot more followers at 240 million versus NASA's 83 million.
83.
Yeah, National Geographic
Actually-
crushes it.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to have. I would like there to be space more than not.
I probably need to follow that page. I must have. I follow NASA. NASA, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm like
Yeah.
obsessed with the space and.
Okay, moving on. Rihanna or Katy Perry?
Katy Perry.
Why will you say Katy Perry?
Pierre, you got 4 seconds. Go.
Okay, I'll go Katy Perry.
Okay, you're both correct. Good job.
I wanted to say Rihanna like 100%, but I was like, for sure I'm gonna be wrong. Like, it's giving us wrong leads. Like what's obvious to my mind is every time
I've got a
it's
good
wrong,
poker
so-
face as well. I'm really staring you down. Okay, yeah, Rihanna has 136 million, whilst Katy Perry has 173 million. Okay, last one of this round is Adidas versus Nike. Or Nike, however you want to call it.
I guess it's Nike. No.
Yeah, I will say Nike.
Okay, I'll go to Adidas then.
Sorry, Yuki, it is Nike
Yeah,
with
that's-
239.
I know,
million.
like I said, I guess it's Nike, but I just say
Yeah.
I got her
I know,
2 times in a row.
Yep,
So I let the Pierre win. No?
yeah.
Well,
okay.
at least draw.
I'd say I'd call this one a fair draw. It was pretty good.
yeah.
But for some extra bonus round questions, who has the most liked photo ever on Instagram? Is it A, I'll say that again. Is it A, Cristiano Ronaldo announces he's going to have twins? B, Zendaya posting happy birthday to Tom Holland? C, Kylie Jenner's second pregnancy announcement? Or D, a
That's a
photo
lot.
of an egg?
Oh,
Photo of an egg.
Yeah, just an egg.
I've seen that. Knowing Josh, knowing the admin, you know that's something
Yeah.
unexpected. Like,
Then it's Dino.
should we go both for D?
Photo of an egg.
That's weird, but I mean, the world is in a funny place enough to
Definitely not AB.
definitely be this possible.
Definitely not AB. If it's AB, Josh, you're boring.
Yeah. Okay, let's go with
D.
let's go with an egg. If that's
D.
the answer, that's really but no.
Yeah.
So I'm not boring. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's a fucked up place. Like, why? There's so much better content or like stories out there, and an egg has just beaten the
To be honest, I was wishing.
everybody's content.
And by a lot.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so the egg has 56.1 million likes
56.1
currently. Yeah.
But that was a joke. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like how many likes can we get for?
Yeah, it was a meme a few years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but still, it did its job. It's still holding its place at number
That's
1.
Unbelievable.
And yeah, the rest was
Maybe you should
Ronaldo's
try that
one.
this weekend. Just put an egg out there and then see how many likes you get.
Next one we have is Kaylee. All right, next one we have is from Kaylee.
Hey, I'm Kaylee. I'm from Hawaii, and a road rule I think should exist is the ability to call up other drivers on the road. So say for instance, someone cuts you off or they don't turn on their turn signal, you can dial up by their license plate number and essentially like cuss them out or just communicate with them. And I think this would also be really fun to see implemented in F1, where all the drivers can communicate with one another during the race. So if someone pushes you off or overtakes you, like you can radio to one another. And I think it would just be really funny to hear like all the jokes and the banter during that.
If that's set up, then I think.
I don't want to hear you when I drive. Like you're fighting scary.
For example, if the Pierre was in front of me or even behind me,
I can already hear you without the radio.
Yeah, I can. I just gonna distract you just by singing whole lap.
Like, I can hear the guy without a radio. Like when I pass next to you, I can hear like. You have like noises coming out of your car, which are definitely not coming from.
Or
the
just
engine.
my breathe sound.
No,
Let's say you could only
awkward.
use that. Let's say you could only use that 3 times per race. How would you use that communication like radio?
I'll just like disturb any guys out of me to force him to make a mistake. Like you can.
Yeah,
disturb really-
just say some run.
You'll just bark. I'm sure you will just
No,
bark.
okay. if
Don't
you-
open that can of worms.
I don't know. What are you gonna say if you want to disturb other driver?
Yeah, a lot of ways to disturb. I gotta be sensible here.
Just say.
Yeah. I'll keep the tricks in my pocket and I'll use them once we make it happen on the grid.
I would throw into the hat. I would throw it in here that I would use it as a blue shell. Remember Mario Kart, the blue shell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I would radio the leader right when I know, like I would find out he's like at turn 1, turn 2, at a very difficult. I just start screaming.
Or imagine
Just
like.
right before your breaking point.
Or imagine
just-
the car in front, you can see I'm faster than the car in front, and catching up like 2 seconds per lap or 1 second and a half lap, and like also he if you like think that he can see, just like sings like the Mario Kart that did, I know the what was that, like a mirror. Yeah, exactly. All lap.
I like the big rocket, the black rocket.
Yeah.
In Mario Kart, when you just like push everybody off the road, and that's a pretty good one. Yeah, maybe we should have like some Mario Kart sound or something.
Yeah, pre-built-in sounds to the steering wheel.
You know what you suggested earlier. Like if you badly drive on the road, but I think that should be the case also on the track. If you do something you're not supposed to do, then they should put like a limiter for like a few corners that you don't get the full speed, so people can pass you basically.
We fixed F1 right now.
Yeah, I think we should lead F1, right? Maybe we can have a talk with Stefano.
Yeah.
You take care of the karaoke singing part of the radio communication, and
Okay. Bye.
bye. Bye.
All right,
See
first floor, please. Okay. All right, you're stuck with me now, Pierre.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried because when I just watched Dahmer, and the series.
This is the serial killer one, right? I haven't started it yet.
Sick, but not in a good way. This is really definitely made me sick.
Really?
I watched the first 2 episodes, and I love series with coming from inspired from a real story.
Yeah.
But that's so I've never seen this in my whole life. It actually scare me, like, to think some humans can think like that. And yeah, that's why when I see this very odd stuff in your room, like,
Hey. I mean, I was going to ask for some spoilers, but then I'm like, this is not just me here listening to it, so let's not do spoilers.
No spoilers. And I watched the first 2 episodes. I'm just not sure whether I'll carry on, but it's definitely worth, like, just trying. Some people, we talked about it with Charles yesterday, and Charles really loved it, which I think is kind of, I told him he's a psycho, but anyway, he really liked it and finished it in 2 days. I'll see.
Oh, so that's why he's a psycho, because he was so into it and finished it within.
He actually enjoyed it. I was like, okay, now I don't want to give spoilers, but it's a very, all these fucked up series on the Squid Game, where you see people die. Like, this was number 1. Now this is again a very kind of strange content to look at. You have comedy is fun, you're supposed to watch. Now you're watching like a serial killer doing like horrendous, horrible things. But anyway.
Yeah, but I'm sticking to my comedies anyway. I'm not following these. Let's go back and finish off our problem solving. We have one more from Anna.
Hi, my name is Anna and I'm from the Netherlands. Well, I experienced quite a lot of road rage, so I've got a lot of extra rules I wish that would exist. I was thinking of this months ago, actually. I think it should be a rule that when you drive a really nice and expensive car, but do something really stupid with it, like not giving direction or tailgating or double parking, you have to switch cars with the one who you affected with your actions. So in the end, you'll have the best drivers driving the best cars on the road. Just thinking about it now that this could be a rule in F1 as well. I think the punishment of having to switch to a shitty car is enough. Good luck for the next race, guys.
That would be chaos.
Anna, I really appreciate your comment, but I'm afraid that it means you will just never see me again on the road. But it will definitely be efficient. I'm pretty sure no one wants to give his car to someone else.
Nah, but it's the law now. This is not a voluntary situation.
It's
not voluntary. Like, this is a punishment.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I kind of get the point. I hate everything she mentioned. But when I think about the punishment and I see my car, maybe the roads are not for me anymore.
So that would cause chaos just in everyday life. But since she's brought that back to Formula One, and I love thinking of new ways we can improve Formula One with some out-of-the-box thinking rules.
Yeah.
Do you think that would work one race weekend where the following you have to switch cars?
I would like that. Suddenly now you
So
turn
like
it
it's
into an
a
angle
penalty
which-
point plus
which-
you've lost your car.
This kind of sounds good when you say it like this.
Yeah, if you're a midfield team like us, or if you're struggling at the back, you could
But
maybe
then
bait.
after-
You could
yeah.
maybe bait the leaders. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna like leave a bit of space,
Exactly.
brake really late.
Yeah, they just force them to misbehave on the track. Yeah, I see the point. I'm not sure it will be voted in favor if we start talking about it between all drivers. But
That's a shame.
yeah, but then there is an idea. But coming to that, I think we should swap cars like every race. I think that would make like a really
Like a
funny-
lottery type deal, or everyone gets their own turn.
Everybody, like, if you imagine, let's make it simple. 10 cars, 20 races. Everyone gets 2 races in each car, and then at least it will make it really fair, because everybody will get pretty much equal chances. Obviously, it's different tracks and it's never perfectly fair, but I think there is something to do there. Like in Formula 4, when I was racing Formula 4, actually the year after, I've changed only one time in that season, but the year after, they were changing cars every weekend. And every
How'd that
weekend you're
work?
surprised. Yeah. Like basically you just need to change the seat, put the pedals in the right place, change the seat, and then there you go.
So it's all one make.
So yeah, you got like exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's one single chassis for like mono chassis for the whole series.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so you meet with Stefano tomorrow, and he says, Pierre, what is your one idea to spice up the sport? We're trying real hard here, but we need a driver's input.
I think like just put Yuki and myself in a faster car, and believe me,
Agreed.
we'll bring spices to the show.
I'd like to see like old school rules being brought back, but they weren't rules back then. It was kind of what happened.
Actually,
where
we're gonna say old school drivers.
oh, that would be fantastic
Imagine
too.
if you mix generation.
Like different classes of races, like different classes categories in
Yeah.
a race. Like your permanent drivers plus your heritage
Like a
drivers.
mixed heritage. Or like you'll have a third car for like a wild car.
Every team has a wild card.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you can either bring like a young driver or like a driver from another category, like American
Yeah.
or
We can bring like Mika Hakkinen out of semi-retirement, like his sabbatical that he's still on.
I like to see Sebastian Loeb. You know Sebastian
Yeah,
Loeb,
that would be fantastic.
Yeah, like just give him a chance. Like you'll just give a chance like once in a while
Yeah,
to
just anyone.
Yeah. Maybe you could be our wild card.
Look, I'd love to
And
be,
then we'll
and
use
I
you
always
as a
say,
safety car.
Yeah.
You go just ahead of the leaders, and then you just wave, make sure nobody passes.
assuming that I'm going to be slow. How dare you?
Actually, my brothers, that's what they told me, because we tried the Formula Renault 2 liters. So the car I won the European Championship in 2013, and it's still fast. Like you still reach 220, 225 end of the
Jeez.
straight, and for them it was a lot to process. You know, the adrenaline, the risk,
Quick reactions as well, like
Yeah,
when to
quick-
brake, like slam it on.
exactly, and the fact of being in control, because they didn't fully feel in control, and they were thinking, they were like, oh my god, if we're struggling that much in that car, jumping into a Formula 1 car, we probably would not even make it out of the pit lane. We'll just spin. We'll just spin out of the box or something.
Just a little bit on the throttle, and
Yeah.
it's in the wall.
And then it's in the and I think it's something which is difficult to realize, which is normal, because people can't compare with their normal like road cars how much power we get. You know, it's over 1,000 horsepower for 700 kilos. So the ratio is actually insane. But trying to explain never do enough justice for.
Well, this is
for
why
what
I
it
love
feels like.
the idea of foot cam, and why we
Yeah.
brought it. We tried to bring it in
Yeah.
in preseason testing.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
no, in our own filming day, we had a really nice top view of it rather than the reverse one. So I was
Yeah.
pretty proud of that. Like how we
But
We've sort of brought that back.
at the same time, you see the footwork, but in terms of acceleration and how much it pulls you. I know every time we go for winter break, you can be sure when we get back in the car, and it happens to all of us, we get out of the pit lane and you floor it, and it gives you such a big kick. It's surprising. It's like, oh, I haven't felt that for a while. And it really like surprises you initially and takes a couple of corners before you start to get all your sensations and sensors to work properly. But it's I like just everyone to feel when we get out of a corner, or even just at the start, like we're standing on the grid, lights goes on, and when everything goes off and you're just flat out and just at the limit of the grip, and it's pulling you forever, and that sensation is phenomenal.
Well, it's good to know that adrenaline never really wears off, because you would assume, like in any job, that you get used to it certain times, and like by the time you hit FP3 and qualifying, you're used to it. But like you said, bringing it back to winter testing, now I know why Kimi didn't retire until when he did, because it's like, I need that kick again. I need that adrenaline.
It's an addiction, and it's an obsession. So when you don't get this adrenaline, I can't even think about it in my life, because I'm like I'll be so sad. Like it gives you such you experience such strong feelings and emotion driving these cars, and also the level of it sort of elevates your mind and focus, because you're so into one thing. You can't mess it up if you're driving an F1 car. It's just, first of all, it's risky, it's very costly, you have the responsibility of the 800 people working for you, so it just puts you in a mental space which is unique. I can't find that same excitement in my life, and I don't think you can get tired of this, but clearly I would imagine when it stops, well, it's quite a hard hit to kind of lose this.
You'll need to become like a heritage driver or something.
Yeah, or just be a jet fighter pilot. I think that's
next career move. Yeah,
talked about it yesterday with Charles. We're like, okay, we want to be the next Top Gun in like 10 years, 10, 15 years.
So when you're hanging out
driving fast cars, flying planes, and just doing like, I was thinking also about skydiving. So one thing we want to add to the list, but
you've done that before.
I've done that, but I had someone on my back.
You want to pull the cord yourself?
I don't want to be carried by someone.
Yeah.
I want to have the excitement of, well, I don't know if it's excitement, but because at the same time it's, it's also like scary, and you get fear. But it's a mix of all this emotion, which makes it interesting.
So this is what you're talking about when you're having dinner with Charles once in a while. It's like, all right, what do we want to do once we retire?
Well, there are a lot of topics thrown there and there, but now we just know each other for so long that we can be very personal, and we have an exchange on our lives and how organized, how we work, and every time we're together, every time we're learning something from each other, and we're exchanging. Okay, how well are you organized? How do you work on that side? Whether it's on the sporting side, on the training side, on the financial side, on investment. We're both quite excited about business in general, so we exchange ideas, and then at the same time we have like hobbies, and started. He's very into like flying. And same thing, I'm like very attracted by skydiving, and I was having a conversation, but his girlfriend was clearly not buying what I was what I was selling to Charles. But I'll try again.
Yeah, you got to be persistent with these things.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, girlfriend is always the boss. As much as we try. they always have the final word. So I know I don't need to sell it to Charles about the skydiving. I just need to find a way.
You need to sell it to her.
Exactly. Yeah. For her to agree with that. But I say for sure it's before the kids. Don't know when you guys planning to do kids, but I know I have like this slot, maybe a couple of years where we're gonna make it happen now.
Okay, this week we are finally returning to Japan. for the Japanese Grand Prix, one of our favorites on the calendar, not just because it's an incredible country, but the circuit is one of the best on the calendar for sure. I'm sure you would agree.
Yeah.
I guess how excited are you to get back there?
Well, I'm so happy for many different reasons because first of all, Japan is I feel very connected to that place because I've lived there for a while in 2017 when I was doing the Super Formula, and no, I was 21, and to me it was quite a challenge to, even though I left my house when I was 13 and I was living already on my own, so I was quite independent. But at 21 to go away from Europe and just go in a country where I would not understand a single word. I could not read, I couldn't speak Japanese, so it was very challenging and definitely put me out of my comfort zone. And I must say, I love their culture. I love their values. The fact that they respect everybody the same way. It doesn't matter which status you have, which job you have, whether you're like a woman or a man or whatever, like a kid. There's just this value of respect and politeness, which is very strong. And I really, really enjoyed that. And the country itself is just so beautiful.
What was the most difficult thing once you landed as a teenager living in this
I landed there.
foreign
I
country?
I didn't know who was gonna pick me up. I had no information. I just knew that I had to go to that hotel and some people will look after me there. And I basically flew for about 11 hours. I was thinking, okay, in which world am I gonna land? It's and then I was starting a new category. I was young, no experience about Japanese tracks, about the cars, and I know it was obviously very important. I came from winning the Formula 2 GP2 championship, and it was another challenge thrown at me, but which was really important to make it to Formula 1. So there was a lot at stake, and I was in an environment which I wasn't familiar at all. And when I arrived, I had a translator, because I figured out Japanese people don't really speak English, or very, very few speak English.
Yeah, and it's quite broken as well.
Yeah. And to make myself understand there, it was difficult, and can't imagine the number of times that I tried to, especially technically about the cars with my team. I was like, okay, the rear is sliding too much, so we gotta put more rear grip on the car. And it was like, too much understeer. Okay, we'll make the real loser. I'm like, no. And I had to find ways. It was funny because at Christmas, my parents, before the Super Formula Championship, bought me a book about Japanese culture, way of communication, how to maximize the relationship with these people, with the Japanese people. And it was super useful. So when I arrived there, I already knew some codes on how to show respect, how to improve trust, because they don't really trust people initially. So it takes quite a while before they open up. And I really felt that initially I arrived, even if they respected me a lot as a driver coming from, with Red Bull. But before they fully trusted me, it took a good 2-3 months before I could really felt that the trust was there. And it turned out that I ended up writing a lot. So I was making drawings. I was writing
what you wanted.
Of what I wanted. Because when you speak, they always go.
Yeah, they don't like saying no. They'll say, yeah, that's
never.
good. Yep.
Exactly. They never say no.
They're just too polite for their own good sometimes.
They don't want to upset you. And then I wasn't too sure. We were doing some technical debrief, which were pretty incredible. So my engineer would speak to the translator. Translator will speak to me in English. I will give my feedback in English back to the translator. Translator will then translate in Japanese. I had no idea what he was saying. So he could say whatever he wanted. And then they were nodding to me, and I was like, is it right? Is it correct? I don't know. And then the easiest way I found was just to basically make drawings. So writing that it will be, it will be there. It's not only a single word you hear in 1 second. It's just a paper and you have it the whole time. And we found ways to work together, and in the end, it turned out to be very, very, very efficient.
So one of the drawings obviously was you on the second step of the podium, P2. I want P2 this year at least.
That was me on the first day. That's
Oh,
what
they didn't understand
that's
that.
what we are aiming for. That's where we're going.
But it was half a point at the end of the season, wasn't it?
Yeah, half a point. Yeah, I was gutted, and especially because the
Well, you
last
didn't get
race-
the chance for that last race.
I didn't get the chance, and that last race that we did was in Sugo, insane track. I was thinking this is so dangerous, and but at the same time, like incredible because very old school, no margin for error. You got the grass 2 meters after you got the wall, basically the barrier everywhere, and very high speed track. So and there was a massive banking. We're going through there like 250 kph flat out, like 6 gear. It was very very special. And on that race, I finished second, and I was virtually leading the championship because my rival at the time was in seventh, and I was virtually across the line. I'm virtually leading the championship coming into that last race, and Kobayashi, who was in sixth place, out of the last corner, runs out of fuel.
No.
And because he runs out of fuel to the line, my rival was in seventh, pass him on the line.
Got that
And
half point
he was
back.
like half point behind
Yeah.
me, virtually. And just like 100 meters before the line, gets an extra point because Kobayashi runs out of fuel and pass in front of me. And at that time, I was like, okay, it's only half a point. Doesn't matter. We're going to fight it in the last race. And the last race never happened because of the typhoon. And I finished runner up. So, I must say, this is going to hunt me for...
You've got
for
something
quite a
in
few
common with
years.
Felipe Massa, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I think...
Is that Kobayashi?
Yeah. and also after, I think Alain Prost missed a championship by half a point.
Oh, was this when he collided with...
Can't remember exactly when it was, but I remember my dad telling me,
You're in
"Just
good
know-
company.
Just know that it also happened to some really like big champions. So trying to make me feel better. I was like, Dad, I still finished second. It sucks. So
Give me some time.
But no, it was a very good year. That's why I'm really happy to go back to Suzuka, to come back about the Japanese Grand Prix. For me, it's a really unique place. Also, the support we get as a Honda driver is phenomenal. You know, we get people waiting at the hotels, like waiting for hours. Every event is super crowded, and what I love there is just the passion that they have, and they're really open in sharing and giving their support, and that's incredible.
Yeah, you can't talk about the Japanese Grand Prix without mentioning the fans. They
Yeah.
are some of the most dedicated and committed around the world, by far, I think. So one of my questions is, are there any standout moments that you've had with fans, like the interactions with them? Like what stands out?
So what stands out is I already know going in Japan, I'll have to buy an extra luggage once I get there.
For all the gifts.
For all the gifts that we receive. So literally, I usually always travel with 2 luggages when I come to the racetracks. And now I was packing to come here. I was like, I got to travel light. And my friend was like, what do you mean? Like, say, because when you go to Japan, you come back with like 25 kilos of gifts. So I just need to stick with 1 luggage. I'll get a second one in Japan. And they're really... they're givers. They give you like letters. They give you. I must have around. They know I love pandas.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with pandas.
Who isn't?
And I don't. They're just the cutest little animal.
Well, half the reason the internet exists is just for people to go search what pandas are up to.
I funded a panda. Like that's some fans gifting me like a bond which says, okay, we are like supporting a panda, like to take care of him and give him good food, and that's something I want in my life. I always say that I need to find a way to have a panda, look after a panda. I wanna live this life. Anyway, coming back to the fans, yeah, they're incredible like givers, and their passion, I think, is the only time of the year where on a Thursday where there is no action on track, just people, mechanics mounting cars, and the grandstand is full. It's just full. They just show up. They stay there. They look at the cars. They look at the mechanics, engineers. They even cheer them on, shout, clap their hands, just to show their love to the sport and the passion that they have. So this is really phenomenal. And I remember that's actually the first time where I interacted with fans was when I went to Japan. Because until Formula 2, you get some fans, but it's very, let's say, quite like a small community. And my first test I did, we did the full day. And by the end of the day, I exited the garage. And there was like a wave of people that took me. And I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't know this would happen. And there were probably 150, 200 people waiting for me outside that garage. And that's the first interaction. I was really impressed. I was really impressed at the time. And yeah, that's how it started. But yeah, really looking forward to the Japanese Grand Prix, and we haven't been there for so long. We get a lot of fans with AlphaTauri and Honda. A lot of events usually during the year, which we haven't been able to do with the COVID. So no, really happy to get back there and connect with our Japanese fans again, and hopefully give them a very good race and a good reason to cheer us on Sunday.
Perfect. That sounds good. It's going to be a very busy one. So thank you very much for joining us today, Pierre. And Yuki.
Thanks for having me. See you next time. Bye.
That's all the time that we have for today. You can subscribe to Tauri Talk on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts to get all the latest episodes. Until then, have a good one.
See you guys.